Hi, I'm Mandy and welcome to my kitchen. Today I'm going to be doing some really quick and easy protein bars that you can just stick in the fridge, so hardly any cooking required, just a tiny little bit of heating up some coconut oil. So let's get started. So we're going to need, it's jam-packed with some really healthy fats and proteins with almond nuts, which we've got 160 grams here, and I'm going to put those into my food processor. And then I've got some flaxseed. I've got about 45 grams of flaxseed there. Now I ground my own flaxseed, so I buy it in a health food shop or the supermarket whole. Now a flaxseed needs to keep it in the fridge if you go and buy it, and if you can and have any way of grounding it yourself, do so. When you buy the pre-packet already ground stuff, it's got a tendency to sort of go off quicker, and just make sure that you keep this really like this wonderful sort of high fibre, high protein, full of omega-3 fats in your fridge. So I've just gone to the supermarket, bought the whole seed, the linseed, the flaxseed, linseeds, they go by both names, and I've ground them up myself. So I'm going to add that to my 160 grams of whole almonds. Now, if you don't have a food processor, you could always buy ground almonds and just use the mix and just mix it all by hand. So that's another way of doing this. It'll have less of a crunch at the end, but it should all taste really the same afterwards. Then I've got 20 grams of desiccated dried coconut. I'm going to add that in. And then the final hurrah is going to be some almond butter. Everything's costing like lots of money at the moment, so if you find a cheap alternative, i.e. peanut butter, then use that. But I'm a big fan of almond butter, so I'm going to use about 80 grams. So I'm going to just go in for like probably, it's a bit messy here, okay? So I'm probably going to go in for a few large dollops. So 80 grams, or just go for it with a few large dollops, and all of that is just going into my food processor, and I'm going to give that a nice blend. That's it. And so with that, the nuts are sort of just chopped up just enough. There's still a little bit of recognisable nut in there, a few whole bits there, but I think that's enough. And then what I'm going to do to that now is put that in a bowl. Here's a bowl that we've got. Right in there. It's all come out very smoothly. It's good for me. So there's all our sort of, the mainly dry ingredients. There's some whole nuts in there still, but it doesn't matter. And then what I've got over here is I just melted 80 grams of coconut oil. Really just gently melted it, and to that I'm going to add a teaspoon of vanilla paste or vanilla extract, whatever you've got to hand, and some maple syrup or honey, and we're going to put a tablespoon of this into the mixture as well. That all goes in like that. And I'm going to give that a little stir just to mix it all up. And then just a pinch of sea salt, half a teaspoon in. Now all I'm going to do is add my melted coconut oil, so my wet ingredients all in there, going into the dry, like so. We're going to just mix that all up. Give it a good mix. So just really get all the dried ingredients mixed in, so it's all, that's all looking good. There we go, all done. Then I've got like a little mini brownie pan. So it's 8 inches by 8 inches square. I've just put a little bit of greaseproof paper in the bottom there, so that when this is all sort of gone into the fridge and it's all gone solid and hard, it's just easier to pop out. But you can, if you haven't got I've got a pan with a removable lid there. But if you haven't, just put a whole piece of baking paper in there and you can just lift it out, and that's a lot easier to do. So that is just going to go into my pan there. I'm going to spread that about. So that's all looking delish. Right, that's all in. That's all done. I'm going to pop that in the fridge for 20 minutes. And while I'm doing that, I'm going to melt my chocolate topping. So some plain chocolate for the topping. For that, you're going to need about 145 grams of chocolate. So one of the cheeky big bars and a half. You know, you can put 2 bars in if you're feeling really naughty, but a bar and a half should do of this. So I'm going to put that in and melt my chocolate. Okay, so my protein bar has been out of the fridge now, and as you can see, that's nice and solid. And I have melted my naughty chocolate. I've gone for 70%. Sometimes I switch it up to 85%, and I've also added to my melted chocolate a tablespoon of coconut oil. The reason I do this is that when we cut the bars, mix into bars, it just makes it like less crunchy and just gives it a much nicer, smoother cut to it. The way that I melted my chocolate is pretty basic. I just had a tiny piece of water in the bottom of a pan with the glass bowl over the top and just really melted it very gently and added the coconut oil, a tablespoon, right at the last minute. So all I'm going to do now is add the chocolate topping. If you are going to use these bars for walking in the heat, I would say that it's good enough to eat without the chocolate on, okay? And if this does last you more than a week, and good luck with that, because it doesn't do that in my little house, you can freeze it. And freeze it, you know, cut it into portion sizes. I'm going to lick that off later, you know that, don't you? So we are just putting the chocolate sauce, or the melted chocolate, all the way around. Yum, yum, yum. That is going to go in the fridge just to sort of harden up, and then we are going to cut that into slices and eat it. So that's just going to go in for probably like 5 or 10 minutes, okay? And I'll see you back when it's all settled. Okay, so my protein bar with a chocolate covered top is now out of the fridge, and it's the moment of truth. Da, da, da. Now, so I'm just going to slice it into bar. Portions. And you know when you go into the supermarket or shops and you get those very expensive protein bars, this is just a brilliant homemade alternative to that. And the reason that I put the coconut oil into the chocolate is, as you can see, that when you do cut it, it's not cracking up, and these are just divine. So I'm not going to eat it because otherwise I'll be sitting here talking to you with my mouth full. So if you would like more recipes like this, please subscribe to Mandy's Kitchen in the link below and enjoy.